Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Beaux-Arts Ford studio for the St. Johns County show that is on in the morning. We've got a full house for you today. We've got St. Johns County Fire Chief Sean McGee. We've got PIO Chris Knapp and their Section Chief of Health and Wellness, Stephanie Whaley, all here in studio. We're excited to have this conversation. But before we do that, we are going to say a big thank you to Beaux-Arts Ford. Since 1949, Beaux-Arts Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's a local legacy built on trust, family values, and a commitment to doing things the right way. Proudly serving St. Augustine and beyond for over 75 years, Beaux-Arts Ford offers award-winning service, unbeatable selection, and a state-of-the-art facility with 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment-needed maintenance, and even Ford's garage right there on site. Recognized with the Triple Crown Award and President's Awards, Beaux-Arts Ford Lincoln is where hometown service meets national excellence. Great pricing, friendly faces, and a better buying experience are just off I-95 and State Road 16. Beaux-Arts Ford Lincoln, they are driven to inspire. Also, a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors. We have Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Bin 39 Wine Bar, BNS Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy House. You can support all of our wonderful sponsors, and you can support us with your likes, comments, and shares. Find us on YouTube and subscribe. We are, I think it was 12 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000. We're 8 now?
As of this morning.
That's amazing.
So we need 8 more friends.
There might be some friends in the room that haven't subscribed yet that need to. You can also find us on Rumble. Follow us there as well. We've got Facebook stars are another way you can support us. They're amazing. Our app is back and better than ever. Download it today at Apple App Store. We've got a full house everywhere. Good morning, guys.
Hey, happy, what is today? Oh, Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day.
Hump Day. Yeah.
We got a crowd for Hump Day today.
Yeah, we do have a crowd. If we got a crowd, it makes it weird. It's only weird to make it weird.
Let's not do that.
Kenny's already said your hair's down, so it's going to be a great show.
I know. My hair's down.
When the hair's down, it's always a great show.
Got a lot of appointments and a lot of meetings, so it's like, I'll do it down
you could
today.
have said it was for our amazing guest.
Of course it is. That's one of the amazing meetings I have today. We also have Blake and Aiden in the production cave.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys.
Hello. How's it going?
There's one.
Happy Hump Day, everyone. Aiden, please come in.
Aiden.
Snuggle. There we go.
Hey, and there's another McGee.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's Aiden McGee.
Oh, beautiful. We're taking over.
the McGees have us outnumbered in the studio.
They do.
Well, not really. There's 2 Blevins.
Yeah. McGee's versus Blevins. Let's go.
Yeah, I think they win.
Next fight night.
No.
I got tired of you just mentioning it.
He's saying that because he knows I'll win.
Yes.
So, morning, guys. And we usually start off with a question of the day, and because we have so many people to answer this question, I mean, it's very important that everyone knows the answer to this question. It could be the most important interview question we have. All right?
I agree.
What is your go-to cookie?
Daggone.
Amanda, you go first. So
All
your
right,
go-to cookie.
If I'm buying it, it's going to be a mega stuffed Oreo. Classic mega stuffed.
Okay.
Because they've cut down on the stuffing on the double stuffs. Double stuffs are now what Oreos were in the 80s, and mega stuffed is what a double stuffed Oreo used to be when it first came out. So it's got to be mega stuffed because I'm old, and that's a classic double stuff. If I'm baking it, it's a chocolate chip cookie with a little bit of peanut butter to it.
Have you ever taken the mega stuff, put it inside a little coffee
I
cup?
don't do coffee.
You don't
Okay,
do
coffee
no,
cup.
just put it
Okay.
inside the coffee
All right.
cup. All right.
Sorry.
Cover it with milk.
Okay.
All right. Then put it in the microwave for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Oh man, is this
and
like
then
a
it turns
cake?
and then it turns into like a brownie with the mega stuff in the middle.
All right. I think we're gonna have to try that now.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All
Tips from
right.
Troy.
Yeah.
Cookie.
Microwave gourmet segment next week. That sounds amazing.
We got firemen in the room. They're
I know.
all about cooking and food
All
too.
right.
yeah.
So.
As long as you don't set fire to it, they
yeah,
are.
yeah, you can't do
Don't
that.
enough oil.
You
No
can't do that.
burning.
You gotta try that one. So, Chief, do you have a go-to cookie?
Yeah, so this one is kind of out there. So it's not really out there, but it's a birthday cake cookie from Insomnia Cookies.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about Insomnia Cookies until my daughter decided to go to school up in New York City, and they're open 24 hours. And she introduced me to the Insomnia Cookie,
Oh, wow.
and it's delicious.
So it's
And you can get it whenever you want.
It's a great name.
Yeah, Insomnia Cookies,
Yeah.
and they live up to
Yeah.
the name because they don't close.
Yeah. So cookies actually help me go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I have to eat,
Guaranteed.
I have to eat cookies. I have to eat cookies every night before I go to bed.
There you go.
Seriously?
Yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
100%. So
My husband made croissants, like handmade classic French croissants with Biscoff and Nutella, and he's been making them every night since Sunday.
oh, yeah.
And so as soon as he hands me one, I'm like, eat it, go to sleep. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the day.
Well, I made Rebecca a cookie bowl for her ice cream. She does ice cream, so I made chocolate chip cookies last night. Put it in an upside down muffin
Uh-huh.
and made a cookie bowl out of it. And then she was able to eat out of the cookie bowl.
This is why Rebecca loves you.
Yeah, it's the only reason she keeps me around.
100%.
Is that 'cause
Not the milkshakes.
I make milkshakes and cookie bowls. Stephanie, what about you? You have a go-to cookie?
I do. Oatmeal chocolate chip cookies.
Oatmeal. So the oatmeal.
It just helps my brain think that I'm eating a little healthier.
Yeah, I
because
was
it's
going to
got
say
the
it
oatmeal
sounds
in
all
it.
healthy and stuff.
Those are why I have trust issues. Chick-fil-A sells you a chocolate chip cookie. You take a bite and oatmeal. What the heck is that?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a good crunch.
oatmeal's in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm going to start with a question. When are the cookies getting here?
I
That's
know.
my first question.
yeah.
Because I'm hungry
Rebecca ate them all.
Troy ate them last night
Yeah, I ate it last night.
before the show.
Yeah.
During
now.
insomnia.
I'm going to go with this is standard public sugar cookie
Yeah.
that you can get when you were a kid. You would walk up to
Walk
the,
One of the free
The
ones.
rainbow
yeah,
ones?
just the free. Maybe put the
Rainbow
sprinkles on.
sprinkles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
put the sprinkles on. Just, I don't know. Just classic old.
Yeah.
Reminds me of your childhood.
Yeah. That's
But I
good.
like all cookies equally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
except
Cool.
for cinnamon. Except for cinnamon.
No?
Cinnamon.
No
No
cinnamon.
snickerdoodles.
Just
You
like
don't like
wow.
cinnamon?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
I got introduced to snickerdoodles right before I went on a schooner. I lived on a schooner for a month doing whale research. And it was like, if you're afraid of maybe getting seasick, bring cinnamon treats. And my friend was like, we'll bake snickerdoodles. And I'm like, what is the snickerdoodle? Like,
That
I
you
didn't
speak
know.
of.
So I made friends with the chef, the cook on the boat, because he would store your cookies. And if he liked you, he wouldn't eat them. And so I made friends with him, did extra dishes,
Yeah, we're
and
probably not gonna
he
be
held on
friends
to
then.
all my cookies.
Because I'm eating those cookies.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Blake, what about you guys in the booth back there?
Yeah, so my I definitely would say like for both like buying and cooking, and I think it has to go with sugar cookie because I'm not a fan of chocolate chips. So so
He's no chocolate.
Blake's a fan.
unfortunately no chocolate for me. Aiden,
Straight up, not oatmeal, just straight up chocolate chip.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Baking, buying, it's the best.
We
Chocolate
got
chip.
flames for you guys.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah,
There's
you got
flames.
flames back there.
Flames over Blake's shoulder. So,
Everything's fine.
and I'm like you. If I bake them, it's chocolate chip.
Yeah.
If I don't bake them, I'm a Mint Milano guy from
Mhm.
Pepperidge Farms,
That's good.
and I like Oreo. I mean, I'm an Oreo
Yeah.
addict too. So
Because it's
there
classic.
really is no bad cookie in my world.
Yeah.
Every cookie that was mentioned, I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Hard to
100%.
pick a favorite.
I'm a cookie whore.
Is there a cookie bakery in town that we can get sponsored
Well,
by?
it used to be Peterson's.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if you remember Peterson's
Yeah.
back in the day, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was like right near where Augie's was at,
Mhm.
and it was great. You talk about a good sugar cookie. Whew.
Yeah.
Peterson's was the one. So.
My family has a great sugar cookie recipe. I'll have to bring them
All
over to
right.
your house.
Next
They're
show.
Next show.
Yep. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Going to find cookie orders in.
I'll be
For your
right
next
back.
appearance, if we
We're
don't
starting.
have them, we have failed.
Yeah, we're we live in Florida, so like when people bring a cake, the
Yeah.
first question you ask in
Publix.
Florida is it from Publix?
Yeah.
You don't ask what kind of cake
It
it is.
doesn't matter.
Is it from Publix? As
Yeah.
long as it's from Publix, we're okay with it.
Publix has
Oh, the
an
Publix-
Oreo cake. It's good.
Publix does have a seasonal cookie.
Yeah.
That's kind of a go-to
Okay.
as a backup. They do the, I don't know if you had the lemon ones
Mhm.
with like white chocolate in them and like the dusting of powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're only around for
Yeah.
a little time.
Well,
Maybe
I
a
can tell
little
you,
picnic
Chris,
So
time.
you gotta pack them all up and hoard them.
Yeah.
at Christmas time, I hoard the white chocolate Oreos.
Oreos.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You love those.
I mean, I'll buy like 12 boxes of them.
We stashed some of them here for a while, and we all knew
Just
don't
hide-
touch them.
just hide 'em out.
Do not touch them.
That's
We got
funny.
into pedophores at tailgates. Such a random thing to have at a tailgate, but they're so good because it's just cake in a little bite.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
And it just melts in your mouth, and it's just that nice little. There's a little bit of citrus to a pedophore, and it's sweet. And
so
it's
you a
perfect.
one biter to a pedophore, or you just pop it?
Oh, one bite.
Okay.
One bite, baby.
I don't understand those animals that just throw the whole thing in the pedophore.
They got pedophores for me at a baby shower. And then my cousins let her kids, while I was unwrapping presents, suck all the icing off of pedophores. And so here I am, a very pregnant girl. And all I'm thinking of is like, I'm going to put on my pajamas and I'm going to have a plate of pedophores when this is all over. And I walk into the kitchen and they're all slimy from being sucked on by my cousin's kids. It's like,
you ruined it. You just ruined it.
I'll never have a pedophore again.
I have.
I think we should move on.
A little traumatic for all of us. Now it's time for a quick check of the weather.
It's going to be nice.
All right, that quick check of the weather is brought
With
to
some
you
late
by
rain.
Bin 39.
Maybe not that nice.
Discover one of St. Augustine's best kept secrets. Bin 39, tucked inside St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street. With over 95 boutique wines, 50 of them rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker, it's the perfect spot for a romantic date night or a relaxing after-work unwind. Sit by the glass or the bottle in a serene courtyard setting and enjoy live music Thursday through Sunday. They are open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Bin 39, your taste to discover. All right, buckle up, baby. It's the Hit the Blakes traffic report.
Traffic's looking pretty well out there today.
All right.
And
We
that's
got
it.
some movement.
No, it's moving. Yeah, it's not as busy as it
Always a
was
plus.
yesterday, for
Always
sure.
a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday there were so many
Give it a couple
cars.
minutes.
Yeah. It doesn't take much.
Right on. I'm heading north at the end of the week, so I'd rather the roads look like that than they did yesterday. To avoid those roads, climb aboard Old Town Trolley and experience over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine. This fully narrated 90-minute tour features 22 convenient stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including the iconic landmarks like Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagler's Historic Hotel. With open-air views and all-day hop-on, hop-off access, it's the most fun and flexible way to explore the nation's oldest city. Your ticket includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum, and local St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest through the Hometown Pass program. Sign up today at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine one stop at a time. We're going to go news or skip it?
Let's hold off on the news.
Okay.
Because we have 3 guests in. And,
We do.
I don't want to miss out on what they have to say.
Absolutely.
So, and it wasn't breaking news there. So, well, we have 3 amazing guests
We do.
from St. Johns County Fire Rescue. Chief, I want to start off with you. You've been with the county quite a long time and worked your way through the entire ranks. Thank you for coming in. So you've been chief now for 2 years? 3 years?
A little bit over a year. March was a year.
Okay. So what was one of the challenges going from battalion to chief that hit you like, okay, I got this, and then you're chief like, ooh, I didn't know I had that.
Oh, it hit me hard.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing, because it was a direct jump really from the operations world, being out on the street, running the calls, solving, I go from immediate solving problem out there on a call, like, oh, I see what the problem is, I can fix it, done, move on, to kind of coming into this world where things are slower. I had to slow down my thinking. I had to slow down my actions, and there's processes to everything, that I didn't know were there. So slowing down in the beginning, like, oh, I see a problem, I can fix it, and nope, can't fix it that way, or forgot to do this, or forgot to do that. So it's a little bit of a learning curve in that realm, going right from the operations world to kind of the administrative level world. Not just fire administration, but county administration, and all the other departments within the county. So
Yeah, because right now we're going through the budget system or the budget process. Yeah, you guys are huge now compared to when I started with the county in '90. It wasn't the same, and neither was Parks and Rec. But we all kind of just blew up like crazy. But the budget process, if you're going from operations to the budget process, that's a huge learning curve. How do you manage and bring yourself up to speed for that process?
So fortunately, going in there, I had some good people that were already kind of in there, had some experience with that I was able to surround myself with, that helped guide me through it. Last year definitely was a huge learning curve for me. This year was a little bit easier. Obviously, once you kind of figure out how it works and, the steps involved with that. Since Joy's come in, she's changed it up a little bit on how we present and do all that stuff. I do like that open format, kind of, sit in front of everybody, tell what's in the budget, why it's in the budget, what it looks like going forward. It's a very relaxed atmosphere in that. I like that. So fortunately, I was coming in right when that was flipping over. I think last year she kind of made that change to doing that. So, but the people that I have around me and my staff, my administrative staff, is really kind of the help that got me through that part.
Now I'm going to shift over. We have Stephanie and Chris. If you guys would tell us what your role, Stephanie, you guys have two very different roles. So can you guys tell us what your roles are?
Sure. Mine is everything Chris is not. I don't like being in front of cameras. I like to be behind the camera. We are polar opposites. So my responsibility as health and wellness is pretty much the mental and physical wellness for the firefighters, securing resources, making sure they're able to reach those resources. And it doesn't stop at the firefighters. The spouses, the ones at home, the family, we can't forget about them because our firefighters are taking a lot of what they're seeing and what they're doing at work and what they're experiencing. And then now they're bringing it, sometimes home. So we want to give those resources to the spouses as well. So in 2022, I'm proud, probably the proudest thing in a long time with this department was that with the help of our commission, Sarah Arnold kind of took the lead. She was able to help us secure a contract with a mental health provider here in town, Elbow Tree Cooperative, which is a group of mental health counselors, psychiatrists, or psychologists, social workers that took the time to learn about what firefighters undergo. They did ride-alongs with us. They went through a 2-day class sponsored by the state, and now we're able to get free mental health for all of our firefighters, their spouses, and their family.
Okay, and so the state has a something that they just passed on mental health also for firefighters. What exactly was that bill, and explain to us how that's going to be beneficial to you guys?
Well, actually, there was a bill that was passed by the state, I think in 2018, that talked about specifically PTSD.
Okay.
And that if we are diagnosed with PTSD, it's a jump on their health and or their heart and lung bill.
Okay.
It's presumed that we received that PTSD diagnosis while we were at work because of the things we saw. Work caused the PTSD. So PTSD treatment has been free for firefighters since that time. Representative Danny Alvarez also pushed another bill kind of building up on that, talking about kind of making mental health and the health of the firefighters a priority in the state of Florida. So I'm glad that they're starting that. That was 2018 was the start of it, and they're building up on that. So that's been a great addition.
All right, and I probably know more retired firefighters. Sean, sorry.
He's almost there.
I'm working on it.
You're right there. Working on it. You're close. You're close. But I probably know more retired firefighters and EMTs. And a lot of these guys are telling me that they struggle with it more after, like when they're on the job. It is the job. The job is what it is, and they handled it. But they're having struggles with it after being off the job. How is what you do helping those firefighters beyond the job in this situation, because it's almost a delayed situation with a lot of the firefighters and
Sure. So
the conversations I've had with them.
Right. So our Elbow Tree contract does extend to our retirees, which is amazing. But I can tell you that as an almost 30-year firefighter, that this job becomes almost your identity. So a lot of times when people leave and retire from here, it's trying to find a new identity now, because this has been so much a part of their lives. I grew up in New York, where every bar mitzvah, every Holy Communion, every birth of a child, that celebration happened at a fire station. So, they're here, 1/3 of their life, but it becomes their identity. So dealing with that going into retirement, number one, and then yes, those calls, the memories of those calls, you're still driving by those same intersections where that horrific accident happened. So it's ingrained in our brain and it stays there. So we were lucky enough to get that Elbow Tree contract extended to our retirees to help them out. We don't give up on our family. Yep.
Yeah.
It's also for dispatchers. It's pretty much department wide. It's not just for operational people on the street as well. So it's a pretty broad.
Yeah, our 911 communicators, our telecommunicators, sometimes are left out, and they're the ones that they're the first
contact.
They're the first contact, and we sometimes get closure. So we're transporting the patient. We follow up sometimes with HIPAA. It's made it a little bit more difficult, but in the same day, if you're dropping off a patient in the same ER, you can stop by and see how this other patient's doing. Those dispatchers don't ever get that closure.
Yeah.
You know, they hang up the call and they just,
Hope for the
yeah.
best.
Yeah, they're on to the next one, on to the next one. on
Yes,
to the
and
next
it
one.
never stops. So we have to take care of them too.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, now what is your
So my official title is Public Information Officer for the county for a fire rescue. So I do all the public affairs, talk to you guys, talk to the news, do all the socials, go to calls, talk to the media, talk to pretty much everybody. So I also do a lot of like the promotion ceremonies, that kind of stuff.
That's
Work with the recruit class. So I've been with the county for 21 years and recently just took this over the last year,
Okay.
about year, couple months. So it's been a huge learning curve for me.
okay, and I have to ask the three of you guys because all of you guys have worked on different. I mean, you've been with the county for a little bit. The 904 owns ambulance number 21. Did
I
any
saw
of
it
you
back
three,
there.
any of you three ever work on that ambulance?
What was its original
Right.
number?
Yeah.
That's
We
what
have
we
to go
needed
look at the
to.
county tag on it and see what
Okay.
the
See
original
what the
was.
original
I want to
number
say
was.
just by looks because it has the AC unit on the top,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I think that was either 12 or Rescue 2
Yeah.
back in the day. So
Yeah.
we'd have to go look and see where it was, but it wasn't me. I can tell you that one.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
so.
haven't found anybody who's ever been.
There's plenty.
There's plenty of that-
If you
that-
said this was original, Rescue 12 back
In the time frame, yeah.
2022
Yeah, you
or
can
2004 or something like
You
that.
could
they
figure
would.
it out
Yeah.
then.
So,
We'll have to check.
If it's one of the old white ones,
Wah,
Yeah.
wah.
that, we're going way back
yeah,
then.
this one's a
Yeah, I saw
it in
it's,
the back
it's,
back
it's a
there.
Freightliner. It's 2000. It's from 2004 or something like that.
Mhm.
So, but it's going to be the Campulance.
Okay.
Ambulance.
So it's turning it into a camper. So if you go to Campulance USA on
Rebecca
on
said
YouTube.
21.
Yeah, 21.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what the number's on it now.
Now,
Yeah,
but
and
the
that's our
original
spare
too.
number.
Yeah, our
so-
spare number's getting the 20s.
All right.
So how they roll back is they spend time on the street being a frontline apparatus, and then we use them.
Then
as,
it's a
once a
backup.
new one
Okay.
comes in, then it comes to backup, and then it hits its life frame, and it's out, or lifetime and it's out.
It
I
becomes
think we gotta
camper.
get, we gotta get a
becomes a
picture,
camper.
a picture with everybody in front of the Campulance.
Then it
That'd be
becomes
awesome.
a Campulance. So Chief, what are some of the initiatives like you've taken over? When you first started, was Bobby the chief?
Oh, I think actually Frank McElroy
Frank
technically was the
McElroy.
fire
Frank,
chief
okay,
back when I
Frank,
got
yeah.
hired, and then Bobby came in not too long after that.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he,
So you've been through multiple chiefs is where my question's at. You can kind of take a little bit from each one. What do you think is unique to your leadership compared to those other chiefs that you've been with?
Oh wow. I think what's unique, I'll just go with this moment in time. I think with the recent public safety expansion plan that the board approved here, we're doing 4 stations in 5 years, which has never been done in the history of this department. It's a major fast expansion. It's really a fast expansion in the fire service as a whole. I mean, you don't really get that kind of push. So I think that's the unique state we're in now. I feel like growth is exponentially just increased from when we first started off, and we kind of slowly, gradually we're going. So yeah, I think that the size of the department, we're I think 440 employees for fire rescue, operations, administration, and civilian staff, which is right about a third of the county employees. Is what our department takes up. So,
And then in the summertime,
and then we take on the marine rescue.
Marine rescue, it really
Yep.
jumps up quite a bit.
It jumps up with the seasonal guards that come on. So I'd say for like right now, that would probably be, managing that growth and that expansion that fast.
How is it hiring new staff to staff all of those firehouses?
So that's another thing we're looking at. That's where Chris comes in a lot. When when I asked him to step into that position, one of my big visions for him at the time, in addition to the PIO tasks, were to create a marketing plan for the department. I think for a while there, we didn't really do a good job of marketing ourselves, and he's done an exceptional job getting us out there, getting us noticed around the state. I mean, we're talked about from North Florida all the way down to Miami. Departments and all in between there are talking about us. He gets a lot of stuff out on the socials. So I'm hoping as we kick in that marketing campaign, which has been about a year or so in the works and continues to move forward, that we're attracting more people to come here. My ultimate goal when I came in was to make this the destination department in Florida. I'm still working on that, getting towards there. I will say in our last hire back in January, we had the highest number of applicant to position opening ratios that we've ever had.
Awesome.
I think we had 30 some spots at that time. We had over 150 applicants.
Very cool.
And really in a profession that's kind of hurting to get people to come into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's really been a turn in the firefighting industry of people not being as interested in becoming firefighters anymore.
Mhm.
And then the whole state starts suffering that lack, and then everybody's just kind of competing with everybody to
So
get people to come in.
For all three of you, what did 10-year-old you want to be when you were 10?
So 10-year-old me wanted to do this.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was as passionate, obviously, as I got further along. Funny enough, I got this picture that I have that my mom gave me of, we're going way back here to the show Emergency.
Mhm.
So
Squad 51.
Squad 51, Ronnie and
Rampart.
Yeah. So back then they had this little kit, this little firefighting kit. It's a plastic tank with the mask and the helmet, and I full up in it, it's probably around that age. So I still got that picture that, I look at and when times get tough, you look back at it like, oh yeah. So
Yeah, no. I remember Rampart well. Johnny Gage.
yeah. I mean, that's really what started it all. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what kind of got the profession on the map a little bit. So
So what about you guys?
Veterinarian, what every, I think, 10-year-old little girl wants to do. Take care of animals.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I was always in public service. My dad was a police officer, so I got older. He said I was not allowed to be a cop, so I said, "You're a fireman."
Yeah.
I scored higher on the test, so I'll, sorry, Sheriff.
So there's no competition because he
there's
was
always
blue, you're red.
No, he just.
Yeah, I mean, I think every guy has that fireman
Yeah.
thing in him,
Yeah.
though, as a kid growing up. I mean, I don't know. Did you ever have the fireman?
I wanted to be a dolphin trainer.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And that's what you
work
ended
with
up being.
animals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's girls.
What
Yeah.
about you guys in the back? You ever wanted to be a fireman? Blake wanted to be a bus driver when he
Yeah.
was like 5.
Yeah,
Just so he could
I
drive the
wanted
bus.
to be a bus driver. It definitely was a time. Aiden, what about you?
We gotta get Blake into
I
a bus.
think every point in a guy's life, he's like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a firefighter."
Yeah.
So probably like pre-K, I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing that."
Yeah, I think everyone, like I said, I think everyone has that fireman phase, and you guys
My-
kind of lived out the little boy phase.
yeah.
My brother
But
definitely did.
It's grown up business. So.
My brother did because he would like rescue me, but then I would try and rescue him, and I couldn't carry him. So I was like, yeah, that's probably not for me.
My sister
I'll play with
did.
dolphins.
My sister did everything she could to try and make the paramedics show up for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, my sister's 2.5 years older than me.
Yeah. Fighting the good fight.
Yeah. She's thrown knives at me, shot me with BB guns. Too.
She tried to learn you.
Yeah. So I still have a BB stuck somewhere in my thigh. So, so which you've done every possible role in. I mean, almost everything in the fire rescue over your 27 years.
Almost 27, yeah.
27 years. What was probably the one you found the most challenging for you personally? Because I think everybody is going to have a different perspective. For you personally, what was one of the most challenging roles that you had? Because I think I met you. You were even doing like Marine at one
So
point.
So I wasn't part of Marine Rescue officially in the Marine Rescue capacity, but the department had started to merge when we took over Marine Rescue from
Parks and Rec.
Parks and
yeah.
Rec. We started cross training a lot of the firefighters,
Mhm.
and over I was at Station 6 for a while in Crescent Beach and Station 9 over in Volano, which were the two first
Mhm.
stations that we started integrating that combo Marine Rescue system. So I did get a lot through that, which was cool. It's a whole different experience there, and we've expanded that throughout the county. We got coverage on the west side of the county now, obviously on the east side of the county. So that part's really expanded. Most challenging, I'd probably say when I made battalion chief. That's the highest level we have on the street operationally, rank wise. And you're in charge of a whole battalion at that point. Prior to that, when you're coming up through, prior to battalion chief, you just worried about your people on your truck for that day.
Mhm.
And obviously being a battalion chief expands that scope of responsibility. And I got, 40 some guys I'm responsible for every day. And my decisions are going to impact a lot of what happens to them. So there's a lot more pressure. I think that piled up on me then. I think for the first year, every day I'd come in that rank and I was like throwing up, like,
Yeah.
just, and then you get in a rhythm, you figure it out. You start building that crew, you start building your battalion, start earning that respect with your guys. And then, that kind of eases off a little bit, but it never went away as a battalion chief. Cause now, it's when you're going to these major calls and you're making decisions to put guys in this building or not put them in this building or put them in this hazard environment or not, like it's on you at that point. So that was the most challenging. The one I'm in
transition.
Yeah. The one I enjoyed the most was lieutenant.
Mhm.
Lieutenant was kind of the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Just enough in charge, but not fully in charge.
like everybody still likes you.
Yeah, you're still like,
both sides still like you.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
All right, we got to pay some bills, and when we get to the music report, I start at 5.
Okay.
I saw that it was long.
Yep.
So I start at 5 o'clock, not the 1 o'clock.
All right. We'll get into the Gas Buddy gas report. Tell us in the comments what gas prices are looking like around you. We've got the gate at Mizell Road at $2.79. Circle K at 207 is at $2.82. The gate at US 1 North is $2.92. Circle K US 1 North is $2.94. Owens on South Ponce is $2.99, and so is the Mobile in Circle K at South Ponce. A18 discount beverage is also $2.99. Sunoco on North Ponce de Leon Boulevard is $3.04. Shell on North Ponce is $3.05, and the Shell on King Street is also $3.05. That Gas Buddy gas report is brought to you by Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Trouble with the law? Call the name St. Augustine has trusted for years. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team works fast to get you or your loved one out of jail and back home. From paperwork to release, they make the process simple, discreet, and stress-free. No judgment, just help when you need it most. When the time matters, remember the name Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. That is 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245. Got the live music report. It starts at 5, that long list. TJ Brown at Pierre's Pub, 5 o'clock. Jim Johnson, Catch 27, also 5 o'clock. Taylor Roberts is at Fusion 904 Eatery, still at 5. Carry the Days at Guy Harvey Resort, still at 5. Carpetbaggers are at Hurricane Grill and Wings, 5 o'clock. Chubby McGee is at the Tides Oyster Company and Grill, 5 o'clock. Mark Hart's at Tradewinds Lounge, 5 o'clock. Damon Slaughter's at OC White's, closing out the 5 o'clock hour. Jazzy Blues Band is at Funkadelic Food Shack at 5:30. Dewey Vaya is at Ann O'Malley's Deli and Pub, 6 o'clock. Eli Mack is at Colonial Oak Music Park, 6 o'clock. Mark Matterhouse is at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill at 6 o'clock. Cassidy Lee is at Pierre's Pub, 6 o'clock. Greg Johnson's at Salt Life Food Shack at 6 o'clock. Paul Lundgren Band is at St. Johns County Ocean Pier at 7 o'clock. Dharma's at Casa Divino 57 at 7 o'clock, and Stu Weaver's at Taps Bar and Grill at 7:30 p.m. Woo! That music report is brought to you by Fidus Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home, trust Fidus Roofing and Construction, voted Best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. As a GAF Master Elite contractor, Fidus installs the GAF Lifetime Roofing System and expert metal roofs built to withstand Florida's toughest weather. From emergency repairs to full replacements, plus pavers and gutters, Fidus delivers quality, durability, and energy savings with every job. And this summer, Fidus is proud to support the Big Summer Fun Scramble on Friday, June 27th at the Golf Club at Southampton, benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters of St. Johns County. Tee off for a great cause with breakfast, lunch, raffles, contests, and more. Sign up today at bbsgolftournament.com for Fidus Roofing. Call 904-355-ROOF. That's 904-355-7663. Fidus Roofing, where trust is built from the top down. All right. Pay the bills.
Ooh, I think you need a cookie after that.
I needed to get back to the interview.
Yeah. She does that every day. I'm gonna miss you on Friday.
I know.
She's going on vacation. Okay, so when I was with government, you get some ridiculous calls, and you guys have to go out on some ridiculous calls and throughout your careers and stuff like that. The one that stood out with me is I had a woman who called me. There's two that really stand out. I had a guy who wanted to buy a house on the river, and he wanted me to tell him exactly where the salt water ends and the fresh water begins, so he could buy his house right there. So if he left his house, he could go right and get saltwater fish and go left and get freshwater fish. So I was like, okay, it really doesn't work like that. It's not the way brackish works, but he was,
You just bring him a fish tank.
Yeah,
Here you go. Get the fresh out of here.
This one's yours. All right. And the other one was I had a lady who wanted me to give her a refund because she got sand in her car when she drove on the beach. So she felt like, that
Your beach should be
then
magnetic.
She ended it with
Like self-correcting?
Well, then if you're going to do that, you should pay for the beach. So I was like, okay, we really can't talk. And I originally thought it was somebody pranking me.
Yeah.
So you guys have to have some ridiculous calls. What's some that kind of stick out? When Chris, I'm going to start with you over there. You put the pressure on you. Like one of the ones that just kind of like, okay, we just like you got back in the truck and you went, that just happened,
I have one from the dolphin training days, but I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably so many. I don't have one that really sticks out. We get a lot of, like the cat. I know this is kind of cliched, but the cats in the trees.
So I love hearing that though, because you think it's just a cartoon. So that actually happens.
Oh, it happens all the
Actually,
time.
I think what beats that is baby ducks and drains.
Baby ducks and drains.
Baby ducks
We
and
just
drains.
mentioned it. We're gonna go like 5 of them today.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like obviously everybody's version of an emergency is different.
Yeah.
And that obviously we're here to help the public. We're here to serve those in need. And I've never seen cat bones in a tree. So cats always tend to climb down. So what happens is everybody gets kind of spurred up. There's a cat up there. There's a cat up there. So we do put some food down at the bottom. We all leave, and guess what? An hour later, the cat comes down out of the tree and everything's fine. But there are definitely some. How did that car get there? How did that person get there?
How did that object
How
get
did
there?
that object get there? There's definitely those calls.
Do you guys keep the X-rays?
No.
What X-ray?
Scrubs told me there's an album of interesting X-rays,
Yeah.
but you're
We
telling
don't
me
do
the
X-rays.
TV lies.
We call Flagler for that one.
Yeah.
UF Flagler. But I don't have one that like is really like out there. Like I mean, there's some, but it's a PG show. That we gotta keep
I mean,
clean.
it's strong PG-13.
Yeah. These are strong.
We're probably leaning more into the R than we
All right.
Stephanie, do you have one that kind of sticks out? That
Not that sticks out, but I can just tell you when someone can't solve a problem, they're calling 911, whatever that problem is. So, and you
Water.
do go there and you're like,
Water
This
heater's
is-
leaking.
yeah,
Like,
this
better-
is not, yeah.
Yeah, but not like, hey, my water heater's leaking.
And do they get sassy with you if you can't do anything about it?
No, I mean, we'll shut the water off for them. We'll help, but it's just like Chris said, like when they don't know who to call, they call 911, and
Do
we
you-
go.
Wild.
Do you and law enforcement ever go, this one's yours? No, this is yours.
Tag, you're
Rock,
in.
paper, scissors.
You're standing out in the
There
street
are
like,
times
"Ah!"
we've had that brings up another call. We had somebody call 911 because their 8-year-old didn't want to go to the school, so they called 911, and it's the sheriff's office is there. We're there.
So rounding back up
It's-
to parenting.
yeah, it's like, well, I can't take your kid and like that's not what we do.
Yeah.
So it's just if we're not handling it, the sheriff's office is handling it.
Well, maybe there was
What happens.
preemptive. They were thinking about killing that 8-year-old.
I mean, witnesses
Might have been
here.
preemptive.
If there's witnesses, I won't do what I want to do.
You're right.
There's moments you're leaving the house and
Y'all saved a life and you didn't even know.
You're leaving right now.
I don't know if Chief Whaley's gonna remember this, but her and I worked together years back on an ambulance. Back when we used to run an ambulance off of Old Dixie back there. It's now the Salvation Army building.
Yeah.
So we used to run like 4 ambulances out of there way back in the day. And her and I were on one night, and this is back when places used to stay open late. But the Dunkin' Donuts right there on US 1, we got called to, and I don't know if she remembers this. For some reason, it just sticks in my head. This is years ago. Like I don't even know how many years ago. But a guy just got a box of donuts on his bike and kind of slipped off his bike, and his donuts dumped on the ground, and he was upset that he lost all his donuts. That's the only reason we got
He
called.
called for the donuts.
He called to save the donuts.
Sounds like you called the sheriff for that.
We did our best. There's some we couldn't save, but
Couldn't save it.
too much
There's a
jelly,
merch
too much jelly
opposite
popped
here.
out.
Yeah.
Some
We
of
didn't
those
want
donuts,
the cops to
but
come there because they get all sensitive about
Then
donuts.
it's
So
tackling
Yeah.
and
sorry again, Sheriff.
I don't know why that.
we don't want them to be all emotional.
For some reason, I don't know why that one sticks in my head. I guess that was my.
The donuts.
That was early in my career, and it was like, you seriously called me because you dumped your donuts?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I got into. Like, we're super, like,
Save the donuts.
yeah,
we need a T-shirt.
yeah.
Call
Eat
911.
the cookies, save the donuts.
That could be a double entendre there that we're just going to leave it because, again, PG-13. We're not going there.
All right. Aiden and Blake, do you guys have any questions for from the audience out there? I really haven't been keeping up with it. I'm trying to pay attention to the conversation.
Yeah. So it looks like there hasn't been like any questions so far from our audience though. But Aiden, do you have any questions for our fire chief?
Oh gosh, look at the picture they put up on my mustache.
Is that
yours?
That's me.
Yeah.
That's my Fu Manchu that I had.
I do have a question though. The fire departments are notorious for having great mustaches though. What is your on a scale of 1 to 10? Is this a great fire department mustache?
I can't see the pic from
You
here.
can't see it's basically what I have
Yeah, it's the same.
and what you have.
Yeah,
I
it's the
give
same as what you
I
got.
give
Chief's
it a
got it, so it's got to be good.
9.6.
There you go.
9.6.
I'm not bringing it back.
No?
No. The people have asked me to bring back the Fu Manchu, but I'm not bringing it back.
We can
That was
just
about the
dye
age
right
I
there,
knew.
like get some dye.
Oh yeah.
Sounds great. Kind of like what mine would look like if I grew it out.
Yeah. No, I kept that one. I kept that Fu for
Yeah, you
probably
did.
3 or 4 years.
I think I met you with a Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, we do have a question from Rebecca though that she asked if they read as much as some say they read.
So, are you like in your downtime?
Do I read?
Is there-
Big readers, lots of books.
I am
in the
not a
firehouse.
reader. My wife and my 2 daughters are.
Uh-huh.
I do not read.
So who's the best? Who's the best cook? Like I've been on trips with firemen and throughout my life and stuff like that. And usually you guys can really cook. Are you guys good cooks or who's the go-to
Are we in the
person?
age of DoorDash for the firehouse?
No, we're not there. We do have really good cooks at the station. Pretty much every shift and station has the go-to cook.
Yeah.
It was
I can
never
say
me.
I'm an okay
You were
cook.
never-
It was
never
never
that
me. No.
I'm an okay cook. My wife is amazing
Yeah.
at cooking. But I'm okay. I'll cook a meal that's edible.
So Steph, not a cook either. All right. So the best cook you guys worked with on the ship where you're like, oh man, I'm glad I'm on with
So-and-so.
Who is
Go ahead,
John O'Donnell.
John O'Donnell. Yeah.
Ron Newbern. I'm going way back.
Oh, because Ron's egg rolls.
Yep.
Ron used to make
Ron
these
was
killer egg
amazing.
rolls. But yeah, John O'Donnell,
Egg
I'd
rolls
have to
are
say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So Ron
because he could do dinner and dessert.
Mhm.
Like he would do all of it. So
Yeah.
I kept
Why
him
we
close
just
to me.
talking
He was on
about
my
food?
shift, so
It's like the show that's on the morning that talks about food.
That's what people care about, right? Insurance wise and some of the things, going back to more serious stuff, like you have 4 new stations coming in, and that's going to help those areas with insurance. Can you explain how it's beneficial
No.
to be? You can't explain it. You can't explain it.
I can give you the real high level. So ISO is a very complicated thing. It's obviously driven by the insurance companies, and fire departments get an ISO rating based on multitude of things. But for homeowners, really the big one is distance to a fire, 5 road miles within a fire station, 1,000 feet from a fire hydrant. Like those are the kind of the 2 big things that drive on the homeowner's end. So obviously we look where we're going to put a station. We try to hit that 5 road mile radius for residential. Hydrants aren't some of the hydrant stuff. Really, the hydrant stuff we can't control. As far as what newer residents coming in, residential neighborhoods coming in, obviously have hydrants in, but some of these older areas in the county that never had fire hydrants put in. So what we're doing with that is we're working to add more of our water tanker shuttle trucks on that really count, if we use them correctly, as a fire hydrant for ISO.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we kind of, when I came in and we're actually just finishing up our ISO now. It's adding additional fire tankers on to cover those areas that don't have the water supply portion of the ISO rating, and the tanker can count towards that. So,
Well, and it seems like St. Johns County's done a good job of helping the residents with that side of it, the ISO and stuff like that. How many stations do you have now, and you're adding 4 more?
so we have 18 currently on, and then we're adding 4 more. The next one will be Flagler Estate, which is already under construction. I haven't looked at it in a while, but there's probably some walls up
I don't think
down
the walls
there,
are
not yet.
I went down there.
So
about a
Flagler
month ago.
Estates will be that'll be open at the end of this year. Then we'll move on to Silverleaf,
Okay.
which will probably be the biggest of them.
Yeah, because right now Flagler Estates serviced from the Hastings.
From Hastings Station at 207 and Morrison there. Yeah, so it's a pretty good ride.
Yeah.
That's even if they're in-house.
Yeah.
If they're out on another call. It's really going to help that area in Flagler Estates tremendously getting that station there. So.
And then you said Silverleaf.
Silverleaf will be next. That'll be the biggest station of them. Beach walks, and they're almost consecutive year, so we'll open the end of this year roughly for Flagler Estates. Beach walk will open the end of next year, and then Beach walk, and then the only one that it's I don't know if we have a set time frame for it yet. We're calling it the Rivertown Station, but it's really kind of going to be in the Greenbrier Roberts Road area, up in there. That'll be the last one of it, and then we're also trying to work in our training center. The state gave us $7.5 million to put towards a training center. That's probably one of the biggest.
Greenbrier's the old bombing range road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So the training center, that's a big thing for us also. Like I said, we're 400 plus people. Currently, we train off Sims Pit, which is the new 312 extension.
Yep.
We got a couple boxes there in a mud field where we have to train all of our people and our recruits when they come in. When our recruits come in, we do an 8-week training orientation for them. That includes burning and obviously other aspects of it, but we don't have a dedicated training site for the size of our department, and that's the next thing right there with Flagler Estates Fire Station is getting that training center, going and having a place where we can train and.
It seems like y'all use old abandoned houses for training. Is that accurate? There was like an abandoned house across from my parents' neighborhood forever, and it was just overgrown. And then one day there were just suddenly fire trucks there, and there was no fire to start with. And like they're breaking down the doors and putting holes in walls, and then fire. And there was
we do have a process for that. Some people donate commercial buildings. Probably the biggest one that I remember is PGA Tour's headquarters gave us up in Ponte Vedra their old headquarters building. Said, do what you want with it. Just we are not allowed to.
We're not allowed to burn.
Like you can burn them down, but there's a lot.
There's
of
too many
regulations and stuff with that. But they will let us cut the roofs and go in and train and smoke it out and flow water. So if we have some of those, there's just some paperwork to fill out from the homeowners and the commercial businesses. And if you know anybody, we're always looking for it.
I might have something for you guys.
Yeah, we call it an acquired structure. So they can, let us know they have something, and we have a whole thing that's set up through county legal, and so it's ready to go. Somebody has a property, but we don't usually burn them.
How much cross training do you?
Smoked.
Yeah,
I think I saw flames.
Yeah,
but I
we have a
smoke
like
there.
A smoke generator machine that we can use and do search and rescue training and forcible entry training, firefighter survival training, that kind of stuff. But
yeah, how often do you do some cross training with like Chief Avales and the city?
So us in the city do a lot together. They come into we have an auto aid agreement with them. Chief Avales and I have a really great working relationship. It's, mutually beneficial to both of us. We do provide all EMS for the city. So all of our rescue units do go in there for EMS calls, and they're working on getting more paramedics in their system. That'll help with, the ALS engine where they can start some care before the ambulances get there. So we do have an auto aid. They come to us, we come to them. We do a lot of joint training with them. Obviously with the storms, we work together as hurricanes and storms approach. So it's a really good relationship with the city.
Yeah, awesome. we have Kelly coming in next Monday from the EOC. What's some of the things from fire rescue for people to prepare for? We kind of all know the list if you're Floridians, but is there something from fire rescue that always gets kind of overlooked that you see when you have to go out on these calls at that time that we can be better prepared for?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just the general preparedness stuff right now, get your kit ready, start stocking up on some water, get your plans going. We see a lot of incorrect use of generators, like as in inside the building, on back porches, that kind of stuff. So be very mindful.
Not sure why the family got sleepy.
Right. I don't understand why, so, and just, a lot of common sense around power lines, especially when the storms come through. If the power line's down, it's probably, we always consider it live until FPL gets there. Obviously during a storm, it's a little bit different, but it's things to keep an eye on. Using grills inside, we've seen that. Speaking of circle back to things that you've
Gas
seen.
grills.
Wow.
Gas grills inside.
Probably not the best idea.
We've seen people move grills inside so they don't float away off their porch, but they knock the
Safety valve.
safety valve open, and then they fill their whole house full of propane.
Yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of things, and you know, as we start ramping towards hurricane season, we'll start releasing some more stuff. But you know, Kelly's going to be a wealth of knowledge with that stuff, and but yeah, generator safety I think is definitely a big one, and also lithium-ion battery safety. You know,
Lithium,
it's a big
that's one of the
segue
things.
That's
to
really
the next probably
evolving,
question.
yeah.
it's-
I was going to say lithium, you know, with the e-bike, I have
Mhm.
e-bikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, lithium and salt
Mhm.
water don't really
yeah,
go together.
No. So yeah,
Yeah.
just common sense with that stuff. Don't drive your Tesla through downtown floodwaters. You know, that's
Yeah.
you know, just follow the manufacturer's recommendations on those things.
All right. I have one trivia question for you, three of you. All right. That
No,
is.
nobody
that
told me
is-
about trivia.
Yeah. All right. That is.
Tease with the cookies.
I
and
asked. I
trivia.
answered it. I told you what my cookie was.
Yeah, I gave you the cookie answer. All right. So over here we have the Dalmatian on top of the station over here. What's the station number?
12.
Station number 12. All right. Do you know why Dalmatians are associated with fire stations?
Go ahead, Chief.
No,
You got it.
Chris has probably. So it goes back to the old horse-drawn fire truck days.
Okay.
They used to keep the horses in line when they were running out to calls, and the Dalmatian was the dog that worked the best with the horses.
Yeah. And actually, it very, very good. The Dalmatians were a bigger dog breed. They were overbred, so they're smaller now, but they were used to be a big husky dog breed, and they got along well with the horses. They were carriage dogs. So the carriage is like in the royalties. So they were always considered horse dogs, and they would go out and fight off the packs of dogs so the horses wouldn't get spooked, because there was always packs of dogs. So they'd run alongside, and they were actually the bodyguards for the horses.
This makes
Wow.
so much sense with the personality of a Dalmatian.
Mhm.
So and that's why you see them with the Clydesdales,
Uh-huh.
and
Yep.
you know, with all of those you see the Dalmatians with it, but they were overbred, and that's why a lot of Dalmatians
smaller.
now are smaller, and a
Very
lot of them are
neurotic.
deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they used to be a much bigger breed that would be almost a fighting dog.
Yeah.
So-
So like Great Danes.
so you
then?
passed
All
the
right.
test. You get to stay being
It's a good Wednesday.
It was close.
Are we
Do you
doing?
have a card for a cookie? I
Can
mean,
we
talking
fire
trash.
trivia back at you?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
do it.
All right. So in old firehouses, they always had spiral staircases, right? Why did they have spiral staircases and not just straight staircases up to the second floor?
I would say probably more before because of space, but I didn't.
Less likely to fall down the stairs.
Horses. It goes back to the horses.
Okay.
The horse would go up a straight staircase but not come back down.
Oh,
and they'd be
yeah.
stuck on the second floor, so that's why they had spiral staircases going up.
Because
horse
of the
wouldn't
carriages.
go up. Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
Because you guys are napping and the horses are off doing their own thing.
On the construction side, it saves space.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, hey, so we do have some viewer questions here that
Hope it's not too much trivia.
that do want to ask though. So Bobby, so we were talking about the new fire stations. Bobby was asking, what determines how an area gets a new station in general.
So there's a lot of factors that go into, how we're going to put a station in. A lot of these new developments, when they get approved, they have to set land aside for a fire station within their development. Now, it's not to say we're going to use it or not use it, but as we see the growth happening, we call them heat maps. Basically, we can map the hot areas of the county where calls are coming in, and we can look over time to see what's happening in that area. So that's part of it. ISO placement, obviously, like I said before, it's another part of it. So again, we're trying to hit the areas of the county to get within that 5 road miles of a fire station for the residents. Call volume is probably one of the biggest drivers in that, and then with that is land. What land is
'cause it's not cheap
available.
anymore.
It's not cheap. There's not much. So I would say those are probably the top ones.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we were talking about last week was the difference between DRIs and PUDs. DRIs actually are required to give land for schools, fire stations, parks, libraries. PUDs kind of slip in just under the number, and we don't get the same benefit out of. So, when I talk about, I'd prefer a DRI, even though they're bigger, as opposed to a PUD because of the infrastructure it brings with it.
Right.
So, anything we have left off that we should have talked about?
I mean, we hit all our stuff that we were talking about.
Oh.
Beach safety, I think it's about the only thing that we haven't talked about is the beaches. They're getting busy right now. So, swim near a lifeguard, pay attention to the flags. There's new signs up at a lot of the major beach entrances. There's a little QR code. You can actually scan that and it goes right to the current beach conditions. Pay attention to the flags, swim near a lifeguard.
Flags aren't just there to be pretty. They're there to give you information.
They're there to give you information.
All right.
So,
Troy, how do you want to check the comments?
all right, on this Wednesday, I will work my way willfully through the wild, wild world of watchers' witticisms.
All right.
That's pretty wacky.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right. That wild working is going to be brought to you by BNS Signs. Want your business to get noticed and stay that way? Turn to BNS Signs, proudly family owned and serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From bold vinyl lettering to towering pylon signs, they specialize in high quality custom signage built to last. Their expert team handles everything: design, installation, crane service, repairs, and maintenance with fast, responsive service that keeps your sign looking sharp. Make a lasting impression with BNS Signs. Visit bnssigns.com because when it comes to signs, they do it all. Also brought to you by St. Augustine Handy House. Need a custom or prefab portable building that's built to last? Come to St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Usina Enterprises and serving the community since 1988. With over 70 structures in stock, from sheds and barns to carports and offices, you'll find the perfect fit for your needs. Every building comes with free delivery, leveling, and anchoring, plus easy financing options to fit your budget. Visit them on State Road 16, open Monday through Saturday, or call 904-823-9092. St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience. Comments report, Troy?
All right. Obviously, everyone's about the hair down, so it's a
Yes.
serious show.
Big deal.
All right, serious show. As far as gas goes, Wawa was at $2.79, Costco was at $2.77. In Idaho, it was $3.40, and in Spokane, it was $4.
I'm so glad I'm here.
So glad we're there. Thank you, Robin, for taking that one for us. A lot of great comments about the mustaches, guys.
Yes.
So, Stephanie, they said you need to work on yours.
I am Italian and Spanish.
Don't challenge me too much. No, just wonderful comments. Appreciate you guys coming in. And I think I got to do my Stoidem stat.
Stoidem
now.
stat, sir.
All right, Stoidem stat on this day, 1942. It's the day Ike took over command in Europe.
All right.
So he became the guy over
I like
there.
Ike.
Started. I like Ike. I mean, we should get a sticker or something, button or something. Yeah. And we all know what happened. He was the guy behind D-Day and all those things, and ended up being president for 2 terms too. So
Yes, he did.
kind of a great American.
My grandfather, who survived D-Day, took me to the Eisenhower Presidential Museum. He
All right.
wanted me to see that. So it meant a lot to him.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's Stoidem Stat, brought to you by St. Augie's Pizza in downtown St. Augustine, right at the corner of Riberia and MLK. Get yourself a slice today. Do we have plugs, Troy?
We have plugs, Bollocks tonight. We're talking about a lot of stuff going on in the world. Kenny said that I only have a couple more weeks before it has to get back down to 260.
Yep.
Because I said gas prices
Getting
for the
close.
summer would be in 260, and then Israel and Iran go and mess up everything. So we'll see if it gets down
You
there.
have an F-bomb for him, too? Just like
Oh yeah. Well, in Bollocks, there's definitely some F-bombs that get thrown around.
Not in the morning, though.
No,
PG.
never in the morning show, unless something really goes bad.
Blake, do you have, not on the air,
No.
before and after. Blake, do you have any plugs?
Yes, we do have plugs. We are 3 away on YouTube.
So
3
close.
away on YouTube.
3 subscribers
close.
away on
You
YouTube.
guys joined in?
Are we going to have a
Hold on,
celebration?
let's get it done.
Hold on. I want
Is
to
this
be
live?
1,000.
You want to
We're all going to get cookies after this.
On YouTube? Is it YouTube?
I
Yeah,
don't
so
see
if you go to the 904 Now YouTube, and then just
And subscribe.
and just subscribe to it. So,
If we
Oh,
were
there.
1,000.
Should be
Right
down to
on here.
2.
all right, we're down to 2. Chris is holding up stuff.
I'm trying to
You give me
get
$9.99. So, but
Pressure.
I think we're gonna hit 1,000.
YouTube. I got like 12
Here we
YouTube.
So
We got 998 confirmed.
998.
I think we get it. I think right here.
Almost there.
subscribe right here.
There it is.
yeah, just subscribe.
Uh-oh.
There's $9.99.
Come on.
Chris is
Oh, I
still
have to
struggling
sign
over there.
in.
The social media
I'm social
director.
media.
Yeah, right.
I can't
Well, I'm
find the
signing into like
subscribe
42 different things, so it's kind of like Who do I want to? Do I want to be the county or do I want to be me?
You be Chris.
All of them. We could do 1,001.
So, but thank you guys so much for coming in. And if you have anything, Chris, you know how to get a hold of us.
Do we hit 1,000?
He's right there.
Good job, everybody.
All right, where's my free cookie?
We're on our way.
I
We
think
gotta
you
get
get
the
cheese
sign
and
up part
Funyuns
first.
in the back.
I don't even know what it is. Oh, it's Fire Training's YouTube page. Just hit it. So you got it.
Even better.
Even better.
Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble. Bye, guys. Follow us tonight.